What's going on, guys? It's Kaiser. How y'all doing? And it is a Tuesday here. Well, the numbers are coming in on the Little Mermaid's opening weekend, and the news is a mixed bag. So there's a lot of news coming around. There's kind of a lot of, some outlets are saying, oh, it's making great money. It's having a great weekend. Others are saying, well, it's not having a great weekend, but it's doing okay. Others are saying that it's getting absolutely beat out and that it's not making money. So, where's the truth lie? Well, that's going to be kind of up for you to decide. But let's kind of dive into the numbers. Let's look at the information as we're getting it. Let's kind of make some educated guesses and some. Let's look at what's going on around the entertainment sphere. See what is being said about this movie, because this one has the potential to be good, but it also has the potential to be a complete bomb. And honestly, where I line up on it is I don't think that this movie is going to make the money that Disney expects it to make or needs it to make. So let's talk about it. Let me kind of parse it out and just hear me out on this. So, looking at this here, so we're looking at just the numbers, the full box office. So this is courtesy of the numbers. This is just aggregate information. There's data points and just solid numbers here. So looking at the domestic box office return, 117.5 million, international box office 68.3 million, for a total worldwide box office over the Memorial Day weekend of 185.8 million. I've seen a lot of people rounding that up to 186 million. That's fine. That's within margin on that one. So I guess the question really comes down to, what are we looking at here? What has been projected? So the interesting thing about this movie is that after kind of sitting down, doing the math, looking over all the information at hand, so a lot of the internet outlets and whatnot, the people that were really kind of putting their betting money out, were saying that the movie is projected to do about over 120 million domestic. The actual domestic take for the U.S. was 117 million. So I know that sounds close, but when you're talking in millions of dollars, that's still very far under their target budget, which was supposed to be over 120 million, more than 120 million. And when you undershoot that number, that's a problem. So the other issue, the worldwide total here is 186 million. And I've just got some numbers up here on the screen. I'm going to pull these over. So the worldwide total, 186 million, against a production budget of 250 million. When you take into account advertising and a lot of the marketing for this movie, add basically another 250 million on top of the current budget of 250 million. So that gives us a break-even point of 500 million. Now, again, with movies, the only thing worse than being unprofitable is breaking even. That's actually, I know for some people that's a hard thing to wrap your mind around, but in the entertainment world, breaking even is almost worse than being a flop and not making back your money. Because at least if you don't make your money back, you can use it as a tax write-off. But if you just break even, then, it wasn't a success, but it also wasn't a failure, so it's not really anything to write home about. Overall, just kind of based on the numbers, based on that information, the profitability for this movie somewhere between 700 and 800 million. So this movie, in order for this movie to be profitable, it has to break between $700 or $800 million. Now, I know Disney wants to get over that magic 1 billion mark, but I'm going to be honest. Based on the performance, especially the international performance over this past weekend, I'm going to say my prediction for this thing's run, it's probably going to make between 6 to 800 million. I don't think this movie's going to be hit a billion. It could surprise me and still do that. I'm just saying if I'm betting based off of what I'm seeing, off of what information's coming out right now, I gotta say my ballpark estimate is got to be between 6 and 800 million in total box office take, which is not going to get this movie over the line into profitability. I mean, it might come close, but I don't know. We're going to have to watch this. We're going to obviously keep an eye out, see how it does, determine how much of either a success or a failure this is. But there's a lot of very interesting things going right now with that. I mean, of course, immediately the media has already come out to spin, and well, media's got a media, so let's just go ahead and take a look at it. So this is courtesy of Variety. So China box office, Fast X wins second weekend, while Little Mermaid flop sparks debate on racism, casting, and political correctness. Yep, that's right. If you don't go see this movie, apparently you're a racist. Maybe we're just tired of crappy, sequels to movies that already exist. Because from all the reviews that we're seeing coming out about this movie, it is a beat for beat remake of the original 1989 animated movie. Except apparently now they've changed a few things around with, I'm not even talking about the casting, but apparently you've got a reimagining of Prince Eric, who is vapid, apparently has no agency or anything in the movie. She still apparently falls for this guy, but instead of him rescuing her after she rescued him at the beginning of the movie, in the 89 classic, because in the 89 classic, she rescues him at the beginning, and then he rescues her at the end. So both sides come together in that. There's a kind of a mutual respect on that one. On this one, she saves him in the beginning, she saves him in the end, because apparently she takes control of the ship, even though she's got her mermaid tail back, and takes control of the ship and then rams it into Ursula. Completely... I don't know what these people in Hollywood are thinking, because this is not... You're changing specific beats that were designed to work a specific way in the story, and it doesn't hit the same. But of course, we're getting into that questioning. Everybody's always talking, because of the casting, oh, well, it's got to be racism. Well, I don't think that's the case. I'm just going to be honest with you. Anyway, so the fact is, yeah, Fast X raked in another mountain of cash over the weekend. So let's see. Currently overseas in China, earned, let's see. Yeah, about another 66% drop, which is, for Fast X to have a 66% drop, from its opening weekend, that's still not terrible, especially for that kind of a movie. So over its 12-day run, it's made $110 million overseas. It's still beating out everything else. So right now, looking at the actual numbers from China, the China's opening day, because this is the movie. China is the market that Disney is trying to court. China is the market that Disney desperately wants on board. But they don't like the stuff. And we've seen time and again how much Disney bends over backwards to try and appease Chinese markets that apparently don't really have a lot of love for well, I think you can fill in the blanks, because we've seen it time and again with them shrinking Finn on the Force Awakens poster, removing Chadwick Boseman entirely from the Black Panther posters. And this one, for this movie, they decided to just color her blue in the poster, almost as if they're trying to hide something. Well, we have the actual numbers from China. So in the opening day of this of its opening, and China only made 550,000. It barely broke 500,000 in China for its opening day. That is pathetic. Okay? That's bad. I mean, you couldn't even crack 1 million, especially with after, I mean, a total domestic take in the United States, 117 million. You couldn't even crack a million opening day. The total take, the absolute total for the entire Memorial Day weekend for The Little Mermaid in China, $2.63 million. Again, that is pathetic. That is bad. Now, draw your own conclusions as to what the reasoning is there, but I'm just saying, this is the market that Disney wants. Disney wants the China market. And they're not responding well to this stuff. I'm just calling them out like I sees them, folks. So, officially, as we are looking at this, so this actually comes courtesy of CBR. CBR reports that it's official. The Little Mermaid marks Disney's worst 2023 opening in China. So Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid completes its opening weekend in China to disappointing numbers, confirming previous estimates. Yeah. When they opened pre-sales for this movie in China, pre-sales could not get over $13,000. Ouch. That was over a 3-day period. They couldn't get that. So the fact that this is coming in, it's not good. So according to Int Group, The Little Mermaid ended its opening weekend in China with $2.63 million, making it the lowest earning Disney release so far this year. For comparison, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever earned $5.9 million over its opening weekend. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania earned $19 million, and the more recent Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 earned $27 million. Youch. So yeah, Disney's not doing well, and they want the China money. Yep, early estimates for The Little Mermaid's performance in China suggest the film would not succeed with Chinese moviegoers. This stemmed from the fact that pre-sales leading up to the opening amounted to just $13,000. On opening day, the Disney film earned a total of $550,000. Moreover, the statistics show that there is a steady decline in the number of theaters playing The Little Mermaid in China, though this is subject to change and may be too soon to tell whether the film will see an early exit from theaters. Yep. Say at the beginning of 2023, China ended what appeared to be a virtual ban on Hollywood films, allowing major releases such as aforementioned Disney films, as well as Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, and more into theaters. Currently, Fast X is dominating the Chinese box office with its cumulative total of $113 million as of time of writing. And this actually was from 2 days ago, so it's gone up since then. So yeah, they're saying this movie was predicted to flop in China. Yeah. So, again, that's kind of what we're looking at for the moment. The other question... So again, I mean, we're looking at other media outlets. We're looking at other information coming around here. So this one coming out, this actually from this morning, and yesterday. Little Mermaid's box office official opening week Little Mermaid's official opening weekend box office numbers are slightly lower than projected. Yep. So even they're kind of saying this has the potential to be a flop because especially next week, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse opens up. That movie's going to be big. I have a feeling that movie's going to do well. It's looking particularly bad for that. I mean, but then there's also the question of, Variety's getting in on this, talking about, racism and political correctness. Even Deadline decided to jump in on this and say, Little Mermaid splashes to 164 million global bow, but there's something fishy overseas as Disney's pick beset by review bombing. Well, okay. Disney's live-action take on Little Mermaid is doing swimmingly at the domestic box office. Not so much as we just talked about. The media is already covering for this movie. With a 3-day opening of 95.5 million and a 4-day projection of 117.5 million, factoring international box office bow of 68.3, that makes for an estimated 163 global debut through Sunday. Right now, this article was on the 28th, 2 days ago. Currently, worldwide total is 186, so just kind of bear that in mind. So, offshore launch is lower than hoped for coming into the frame, but it bears noting that there's something fishy going on with the overseas markets, or the so-called review bombing, in such areas as France, Korea, Germany, and beyond. Oh, really? While the Rob Marshall directed update has a 95% verified audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, the film rating websites overseas, including IMDb in the UK, Brazil, and Mexico, as well as Allociné in France, posted advisories during the rollout when negative user reviews appeared in questionable abundance. Well, let's just have a look-see. Because even I've heard that there's a little bit of interesting stuff going on with Metacritic, which people kind of still use for some reason. So currently on Metacritic, currently sitting at a 59% or 59 critic score and a user score 2.2, which is bad. But this also flies right in the face of the current situation looking at Rotten Tomatoes, where it has a critic score of 68%, certified fresh, and a audience score of 95%. But there's a little, there's a little thing. If you click on this number here, you have all critics and top critics. If you click the top critic score, suddenly that drops to 47%. And this says 95% verified audience score, 5,000 plus verified ratings. But if you go to all audience, it goes to 57%, 25,000 plus ratings. Yeah, I'm just saying, we've kind of got a track record so far of Rotten Tomatoes covering for bad reviews on certain movies in the past. It's not outside of the possibility that that could be what they're doing here. Because, again, we've got this site, we've got Metacritic, and apparently we've got other websites overseas, according to Deadline, that are all saying that this movie is doing poorly in the reviews. And, just out of curiosity, I just want to see. I kind of want to ask the question, what is the consensus overall? Why do people not like this? It really didn't add anything. It was just a remake of a remake, for remake's sake. The casting wasn't great. CGI was terrible. Songs were just not it. It was needless and poor remake of a great movie. This movie sucks. Even my 3 grandkids were getting bored with it, and so I just wasted $60 on drinks and popcorn. CGI was bad, music was bad, and the whole damn show was bad. Don't waste your money and hold off until it comes out on TV. Should not be that long. A disgrace to the original. Don't waste your money. Not sure what this train wreck was, but it was one of the worst redos of a beloved film I've endured. It's been up there with Dumbo redo bad. Woof. Don't let Disney spoil the Ariel character for your kids. Don't let Disney wokeify our culture. The Disney cartoon version is the only one your kids should even know about. Say, even this one, 3 out of 5 stars. The cartoon was better. Yeah, boring, annoying, unnecessary. The girl can sing but cannot act. And say, yeah, I'm seeing a common thread through all of these. Yeah, bad acting, CGI was awful, this movie was not good. Don't waste your money. Oh my God, this movie was bad. Who on Disney said some of these songs would be good? Disney, you're killing me over here, bro. There's nothing that made this worth watching. Ended up asking for my money back due to the risk of eye cancer. Don't waste your time. An unnecessary remake that fails to deliver, a tedious drag that goes nowhere. So again, I'm looking at these reviews. Everybody seems to be saying the same thing. They're saying it's boring, it's tedious, it's not as good as the original, CGI is bad, acting is not great, but you know what I'm not hearing? I'm not hearing anyone chant racism. I'm not hearing anybody specifically saying that it's, because Halle Bailey or whatever. Well, look, folks, I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just saying this is what I've got here to report on, the information coming in. So ultimately, this movie is a flop in China. It did not make up the money that it needed to make up in its opening weekend. And right now, it's looking like it's going to be going into another week where it's going to be pitted against the next movie, which is, the Spider-Man movie. And I think people are just tired of the live action remakes. That's kind of been my take from day one, is I think people are just tired of the live action remakes. If you want to make new and original content, feel free to go ahead and make new and original content. Great, no problem there. But just don't go remaking the same stuff over and over again and doing beat for beat, shot for shot remakes of stuff that already exists and stuff that we already love. I think that is the takeaway from all this. So again, as far as my predictions for how this movie is going to do at the box office, I'm going to predict that this movie is probably going to make between 6 and 800 million. It's not going to hit $1 billion. I don't feel like it's going to hit $1 billion. It could surprise me, but I don't feel that it's going to be there, especially not with the competition it's dealing with right now. The poor opening in China, the underperforming at the box office for the domestic numbers. Worldwide numbers were okay, but not great. The high budget for this movie is definitely a major problem that this thing has to overcome. So, we'll see how things go. We'll keep an eye on it, and we'll just kind of parse things out as things go. But, folks, until next time, I appreciate you watching to the end of this video. I know it was a long one. It was a bit of a deep dive, but I wanted to go through the numbers and actually go through the hard data that we're looking at here. And, hey, we're playing a little bit of the Vegas betting odds, but we're looking at everything. We're looking at everything from a wide open lens. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I want you to go down there, definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you all on the next video. Have a great day. Peace.